What if we told you that for less than the cost of a top-of-the-line DSLR, you could have your own humanoid robot, one that walks, hears, talks back, and even learns? That day has come. Say hello to the Unitree R1, a small, smart, and extremely budget-friendly humanoid robot launched by Chinese robotics firm named Unitree for just $5,900. Yes, an actual walking robot, less than a Leica Q3. From a quick glance, the R1 may appear diminutive, just under 4 feet tall and weighing about 25 kilograms. But don't let its size mislead. It's filled with 26 joints, or degrees of freedom, that provide it with a very flexible and human-like range of motion. It can walk, balance, turn, and execute smooth movements that bring it uncannily close to how human beings move, at least mechanically. What's great about the Unitree R1 isn't necessarily its design or its motion. It's the fact that you can now buy a humanoid robot for less than $6,000. It's a world where similar robots such as Tesla's Optimus are expected to retail between $20,000 and $30,000. And Unitree's own H1 model costs a whopping $90,000, so the R1 is a radical leap forward in terms of bringing humanoid robotics within reach. But just what is it capable of? The R1 has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, so it can pair with devices and networks for updates, remote control, or automation. It has built-in cameras, microphones, and speakers, so it can hear commands, speak back, and even monitor movement or objects within its line of sight. It is driven by an internal battery and can operate for about an hour on every charge, providing developers, researchers, and students with sufficient time to test and calibrate its operations in a contained environment. Now, before you get too caught up envisioning your own robotic butler ironing clothes and making coffee, there's an important thing to remember. The R1 does not have hands. Unlike Unitree's more sophisticated humanoids or idea robots in high-budget tech presentations, the standard R1 can neither pick up nor manipulate objects. Its capabilities, as impressive looking as they are mainly concentrated in mobility, sensor-based interaction, and AI research. And that's precisely the point. The R1 was not made to do launch. It was made to explore the future. Its primary user base isn't homes, it's developers, engineers, schools, and research institutions. It's like a high-potential testbed for trying out artificial intelligence, robotics programming, and human-machine interaction. It's not about what it can do straight out of the box, it's about what you can make it do. That's why a few companies are already getting on board. Geely, for example, is one of China's largest automobile brands and is testing out the deployment of a Unitree Humanoid in its production line operation. They're seeing how humanoids could potentially work with humans down the road, particularly in inspection, monitoring, or repetitive motion activities. In short, R1 is becoming an invisible partner in industrial innovation in the real world. For researchers or developers wanting greater customization and ability, Unitree has an EDU version of the R1. The more advanced edition features robotic hands, which cost about $5,200 each, and a higher-end computing module built in. The EDU version turns the robot from being a walking demo into a serious bipedal research platform that can manipulate objects, perform fine motor operations, and have high-level gesture control. At its essence, the R1 is intended to be molded and programmed by its owner. It's not about possessing a robot that does everything. It's about providing developers with a canvas to experiment, test limits, and see what is possible. From speech recognition to navigation on its own, motion planning, or machine learning. This humanoid provides access to projects previously restricted to million-dollar labs. And what makes this robot so significant is not necessarily what it does, but what it signifies. Humanoid robotics has been out of reach for the masses for decades. Most operational humanoids are behind the doors of research institutions, military agreements, or megacorporate safes. The R1 alters that. It lowers the barrier to entry significantly, allowing students, individual inventors, small startups, and teachers to get their hands on a human-like walking robot and a robot that listens like one as well. This democratization of robotics can be the most significant impact of the Unitree R1. By providing a humanoid robot that is affordable for universities and even savvy tech folk, Unitree is welcoming tens of thousands of new brains to the game, each with their own ideas, code bases, and concept of what the future should hold. The more that are making things with these robots, the quicker the industry will progress. Let's discuss design. Construction is lightweight and minimal on the R1, and the rounded, non-intimidating shape makes it well-suited for indoor use, labs, and demonstration purposes in academic settings. Its compact form, when paired with modular architecture, makes it simple to move around, update, and add to with future components. The absence of hands, for instance, isn't a limitation that cannot be overcome. Developers can add third-party arms or incorporate existing robotic arms to further build out functionality. Battery life is approximately 1 hour, sufficient for controlled testing and demos, but not quite sufficient for all-day work, but fine by its intended market, research, and experiment. Consider it akin to a laptop requiring recharging between bursts of high computing performance. In later editions, we can expect to see hot swappable batteries or wireless charging stations that allow longer periods of use. The R1 is also software customizable with ease. Programs can be coded to manage movement, initiate action based on sensory data, or even integrate the robot with external AI systems through cloud APIs. One can imagine combining the R1 with ChatGPT-like models, or voice assistants trained for specific spaces. The robot can be converted to a research assistant, a museum tour guide, a STEM class demonstrator, or a service sector prototype. And sure, the R1 may not be washing your dishes just yet, but it's building the foundation for the robots that will. From an entrepreneurial point of view, this affordable humanoid is an opening for robotic startups that before depended on simulations or on renting out lab time. Now that you have something physical like the R1, you can do prototyping, testing, and user experience tests that much more physically. It's no longer a simulation. You can touch it, run it, repair it, upgrade it, and ship it. In the classroom, the R1 provides an interactive learning experience. Students don't have to sit there watching videos or fiddling with emulators. They can code directly that instantaneously controls a living, breathing humanoid, learning not only logic and form but real-time feedback, debugging, and systems thinking. It's one thing to execute a Python script, it's another to see that code cause a robot to walk. That's the kind of transgressive learning that lasts. It's also what makes the R1 such a valuable resource for would-be engineers, AI specialists, roboticists, and artists, experimenting with movement, presence, and digital interaction. Looking ahead, the R1 could evolve in many directions: improved battery capacity, longer limbs, swappable hands, higher computing power, or built-in natural language models that can run offline. The possibilities are limited only by how fast hardware and software can merge, and with the growing pace of edge AI development, we're not far from seeing standalone robots that think, speak, and act fluidly without relying on cloud processing. The Unitree R1 may look small and simple today, but it symbolizes something massive. It is the shift from robotics being an elite, closed-door industry to a global, open-source revolution. It's not about perfection, it's about potential. For $5,900, you're not just buying a robot, you're buying access to a field that will define the next century. So while the H1 might flip through the air and the Optimus might one day lift 50 pounds, the R1 is changing the future in stealthy fashion by putting humanoids into the hands of humans who will dream up new applications, construct new tools, and drive new problems. And that's the magic of it. This isn't a show robot, it's a robot for builders, for dreamers, for doers. It's a robot made for you. Yes, you, viewing here right now. Whether you're a developer, a technologist, a university student, a teacher, a robotics startup founder, or someone who's always wanted to work with humanoid but assumed it was never going to be within your reach, the Unitree R1 is here to make that vision a reality. You don't require $1 million funding. You won't need to have a clandestine tech lab. You just need the curiosity to experiment, the imagination to create, and now, the hardware to back it up. So ask yourself, what would you do with a humanoid robot in front of you today? What would you create? What issue would you resolve? Because for the very first time in history, you don't just have to dream up the future, you can quite literally walk alongside it. The future of robotics is not 5 years away. It's not some far-off horizon anymore. It's here, it's affordable, and it's walking on 2 legs. The question is, are you ready to take the next step? Because the Unitree R1 has already taken it. The Unitree R1 has come to make that dream accessible. You no longer require $1 million grant. You don't require access to a clandestine tech lab. All you require is curiosity to discover, imagination to construct, and now, for the first time, hardware that makes it possible. So ask yourself, what would you do if you had a walking, programmable robot in your hands? What tools would you design? What AI models would you experiment? What if you could prototype the next industry-changing innovation in automation before anyone else? Because the future of robotics isn't somewhere in the background. It's right in front of you, ready for your command. The Unitree R1 has made the first move. Now, it's your turn.